The Legend of Lemuria Continent Part 1 Author, To Duc Quynh Chapter 1, Episode 1, Alice and the Moonlight. Long ago, humans discovered the secrets of the universe, learning to use these powers for themselves. Living alongside humans were beasts, tiny spirits, the souls of animals and plants. The world was governed by the gods in heaven, who provided food, crops, and health for humans and all species. They protected this world from the evil and brutality of the demon lord Kundun, the leader of the dark world, always lurking for humans. Demon Lord Kundun loved to catch children to eat. Therefore, when it got dark, all children had to go home, not allowed to play outside. "Look, Mom," Alice exclaimed, "you always do that, always interrupting the story. You've reminded me of that sentence countless times." Saphira smiled and stroked her daughter's head. "But Mom thinks it won't be redundant. You always have to remember, don't go out on the street when it's dark or you'll be eaten." Alice stuck out her tongue. "I don't believe it, there's no such demon. And if there is, I will catch it and bring it home for you to make soup." "Right, Mom?" Saphira laughed. "Oh, my daughter is so silly, who would catch a demon to make soup? It's late now, go to sleep." Saphira pulled the blanket over Alice, a snow-white blanket made from the fur of the Tino's mountain bear, very thick and warm. Lying in the blanket, the little girl looked like a bunny. Although she had been yawning, Alice still wanted to be spoiled by her mother. But Mom hasn't finished telling the story. "Keep telling, Mom," Saphira sternly. "Stop it, go to sleep, Mom will continue tomorrow." Alice reached out. "So is Dad coming home tonight, Mom?" Saphira bent down and kissed Alice's forehead. "Mom doesn't know either, maybe your dad has to be on duty to protect the palace tonight. But no matter what happens, you must remember, your father Sendorgrim is the strongest, bravest warrior, and the pride of the Lemuria continent. You have to believe in your father, remember?" "Yes, I remember. Well, good night." "Good night, Mom." Saphira blew out the candles. Darkness fell, enveloping the room. Alice gradually fell asleep. In her dream, she saw herself standing on a large green grass carpet, the vast blue sky with pink clouds floating. Alice loved it, running around on the green grass until she was exhausted. The little girl lay down, looking up at the sky. Suddenly Alice heard footsteps, groaning. She sat up, followed those sounds, to a very large cave. She quickly hid when she saw a shadow. It was two men, one with his head covered only showing his beard, holding a staff that looked like a wizard, and another with golden hands, wearing a crown. The man who looked like a king approached the transparent crystal stone in front of the cave, his hands trembling. And the wizard raised his staff high, mumbling a spell. The crystal stone suddenly glowed, the dazzling light knocked both of them back. Then, the light gradually shrank, the stone cracked and exploded into hundreds of pieces. The cave door shook and exploded after that. A creepy laugh echoed, drawn out in a horrifying way, seemingly never-ending. A stream of green light from inside the cave shot out, turning all the escort soldiers behind the two men into skeletons, then collapsed down horrifically. Alice looked horrified towards the cave entrance, only to see a skeleton with a crown on its head. And the wizard at this point had taken off his hood, revealing a demon full of terrifying bones. The footsteps were getting closer, the sound of chains from inside the cave echoed. From inside the cave, a large demon stepped out. He had a face full of bones, wearing a gray armor with a cloak behind, holding a strange-looking staff. His eyes lit up with a blood-red light, and those eyes were staring straight at Alice. In a blink of an eye, he had been next to Alice, along with a mouth full of sharp teeth appearing. Alice was so scared that she closed her eyes and screamed, "Mom, save me. Demon Kundun." All sounds suddenly went out, leaving only silence. Later, Alice opened her eyes and saw no demon Kundun, and the cave also disappeared. In front of her was a field full of flowers with many bees and butterflies flying around, looking very much like the Noria prairie where she lived. There was a woman's voice, very soft and gentle. Alice heard it very familiar but could not recognize who it was. "Elpis. That crystal stone is the seal stone of the demon lord Kundun." "That fool, Antonia, listened to the demon's words and shattered the seal stone, released Kundun and returned to the world to re-establish the dark, demonic world. He is preparing for a plot to invade the Lemuria continent again to destroy everything. In this war, just a small mistake, we will have to pay a heavy price. So Elpis, we don't have much time. Your mission is very important. Find the 3 gems of heaven. The Wish Gem, the Spirit Gem, and the Life Gem. Combine them with the Primordial Gem at the Blood Castle. Use your magic to combine them, creating the Seal Stone. This is the new stone, capable of sealing Kundun's power. However, that's still not enough. You have to find the primitive stone, refine it into the creation stone with great power. Find a way to give it to the dragon god Shenron. It will be the weapon of the stronger person, to be able to fight and destroy Kundun. On the way to find the gems, you will meet many good friends, and those who want to take advantage of, deceive you. But don't worry, listen to the words of your heart to recognize and find the gems of heaven. Remember, absolutely do not let those gems fall into Kundun's hands. If that happens, this world will be destroyed. Darkness will cover our continent again. This is a noble mission for you. Fulfill that mission well, my beloved daughter. When the voice just ended, a very bright moon appeared in the sky. The moon shone on Alice. Suddenly, the ground shook violently, the moon disappeared and the sky turned blood red. The grass and trees all burned and the ground appeared huge cracks with hot lava flowing underneath. Alice was terrified. She hurriedly ran as fast as she could, but the ground had cracked, causing her to fall into the fiery red abyss. The little girl was so scared, she cried out and woke up, sweating profusely. The bed suddenly shook. Alice was so scared that she screamed and quickly jumped off the bed. Suddenly Alice realized the reason why the bed was shaking. It was Thomas, her younger brother, shaking his small bed. So that's why. No wonder the ground was shaking. Alice was angry and was about to give Thomas a beating when Saphira ran up, panicked and asked, "What's wrong that you cry so loudly? Who did something to you?" Alice whined. "Mom, Thomas teased me, he didn't let me sleep, he. Thomas argued. "It's not because of me, because Alice woke up late, I just intended to climb up and wake her up." Alice frowned. "Wake up in what way?" Saphira pulled the 2 children apart to mediate. "Well, your brother is still young, Alice. Now go wash your face and have breakfast. Mom made delicious cakes. There's also the strawberry jam Alice likes. Spread it on bread, it's delicious, isn't it? Hurry up or the spirits will eat all your portions." Alice reluctantly followed her mother downstairs. Outside the window the sun was rising high. A beautiful new day on the Lemuria continent was waiting for Alice. End of episode 1. Please follow the channel to continue the journey.